Hey everybody, welcome back to Str8 Talk, No BS. I'm Jay, your host tonight. This is Tanya on the side of me. We have Cynthia downstairs, and we have Francis joining us over here in the right hand corner. Hi ladies, how y'all doing?
Good
Good,
evening.
good, good. Doing good, doing good. I see you sprinting at the last minute. Did you get your
Traction
No,
coffee?
on.
Did
girl,
you get your
wait.
coffee?
Listen, look, I know my coffee was sitting on the table. What it was, I was sprinting from the stove, baby. Listen, I was trying to get it.
I ain't
As
gonna
soon
worry
as I
about it.
heard, as soon as I heard in my ear, bitch, I took off running.
I'm supposed
That's a
to say track
damn
star.
shame.
Gotta get
Jackie
it.
Joyner and
Okay, did you
shit.
get them?
Oh
Oh,
God.
y'all gonna excuse me tonight. I might be a little down. I've been up for like 2 days. So I'm gonna ask y'all to say prayers for my friend. She's in the hospital with COVID and asthma. So we've been on video chat. She is doing a little bit better, but let's just keep her in our prayers, Miss Barletta. We have you in our prayers. Okay, y'all. Well, tonight, y'all know we're gonna be talking about credit repair and taxes. And I know when you're trying to read a credit report or you just trying to repair your credit report, period, it can become convoluted, difficult,
Man,
frustrating,
pull
irritating.
your hair out.
Okay? So tonight, y'all, we're going to try to make it more comprehensive for everybody and try to help them get an understanding and get on the right path back to how to repair their credit.
Do we have enough time for that?
Well, we don't have.
I don't know. I'm a little slow.
I ain't gonna say we can do it all in an hour, but we can give some tips, and help people understand on how to read their credit report.
Okay, okay.
So, first of all, let's talk about where can we get our credit report. Somebody want to answer that?
Ooh.
I would like to take that. You can call in or you can go online and get your credit report. You get up to 3 free ever since the pandemic started. It used to be one a year, but you can get up to 3 free as
She's
far as I
dragging.
know since the pandemic started. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experience.
Okay.
They have
Also,
Now, go ahead,
She
Nate. Keep.
We have 1-800 number scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you want to take your time and write it down. But they also have a website. Go ahead, Tanya.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say. Also, you said where did you? What was the first one you said at the three credit bureaus, right? Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
Experience, yeah.
Experian. Okay, so also you can get a copy of your credit report from is it Annual Credit
yes, annualcreditreport.com
and the
or Sesame
Credit Sesame
Credit
and
Sesame, Credit Karma.
Now I don't know about a credit report from Credit Karma necessarily, but definitely on Annual Credit Repair. Is it Credit Repair?
Credit Report.
Creditreport.com.
Credit
They
Karma. I know they give you your score for free. I do know that. And
I know
Expedient,
they.
they give you a copy of your credit report for free also.
Oh, okay. So they
Yeah.
give you a copy of your
You.
report.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. I know the annual credit. I keep wanting to call it report. I mean repair instead of report. Anyway, you can go there and get your credit report. And I think until April of this year, due to COVID or whatever, they're letting you get as many. I think one per week. I'm sorry. You can get all three of them each week if you want to, but you can just keep on checking on it, getting it. I mean, even though I don't understand why you do it that
I
often,
know
but
y'all done
it's
seen
a
Well, a
service
lot
that
of
you can do
people.
it.
A lot of people, they want to monitor their credit. Credit changes every day, though. We all know that, right? You might look at it today, you might have a 750. Tomorrow, you look at it, it might be 650.
Oh, Jesus.
It just depends on how your lenders are, whatever they're reporting back to that credit bureau.
Okay.
But they're only supposed to report once a month. But like I said, it depends on how many credit accounts you have open, how many reports are being reported, how many lenders are reporting. I mean, and not all lenders report to all three credit bureaus.
So
So
you
if you
need to be
look
able to
at
check
each
it
one
like
of your
that.
credit bureaus Experian, you might have 700. Equifax, you might have 699. TransUnion, you might have 750. And
Okay.
that's because each one of your lenders don't report to all three credit bureaus. I'm not saying
Got
they
it.
don't, but most of them just report to one or two. So
Oh,
that's the
okay,
reason why
okay.
your credit scores are different for each
Gotcha.
one.
So that would be a good reason to keep checking it and monitoring it.
Yes, and you can
again,
monitor it at Credit Karma. That's a good place to go. That's
for
that's
free.
that's who I use. It's for free and they're
Yeah.
pretty accurate. most of the time my score seems to be higher on Credit Karma though.
Credit Sesame is a good one also, and it is also free. I like
Yeah,
that
and that's
one
the
too.
main thing we want to tell people, that these are free places you can go to. And also, before we leave that topic, with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, go there and open up account with all three of these credit bureaus. Make sure you open up account so you can see and monitor what's going on with your credit. Okay, but before we get all the way into that, let's rewind a little bit and let's say, what do we do when we get our credit report? What's the first things we need to do?
Freak out when I look at it.
Or let's say,
Exactly.
what are the sections on the credit report? What are the main sections on the credit report?
Okay, so you guys, there's a couple of main points. There's a lot. When you're looking at it, there's a whole bunch that you can see on it. But for the most part, the main ones I believe that you should pay attention to would be your personal information, your credit history, public records, and inquiries. So those are like the main parts. But to
So
me,
everybody, y'all see that? Personal information, credit history, public records, and inquiries. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody see that. So now we can talk about it. Because for each one of these sections, it's a percentage of how your credit score is calculated. Right? Okay, so do we have a breakdown of showing the calculations?
let's see.
So for your credit history, you're going to get, you want to go here first, or do we want to go back to the personal thing and tell about what
I
you
will
do?
go
for
back
each
to
section?
that one,
You
y'all.
go back to that one first?
Yeah,
Okay.
just simply because
Okay.
on this one, you know, like I said, when I see my, I don't know about y'all, Nate and Francis, when I look at my credit report, it looks like a whole bunch of numbers that I can't really, I don't know, it becomes overwhelming personally. That's just me. And when I'm looking at it, the key main important things I miss a lot of times for trying to look at every single thing. So knowing these four major, I guess,
Components
that you
that make up your credit report,
are important. Okay.
like personal information, just your name, your addresses, where are you from, all of that stuff. You want to make sure that's correct. Okay, and then you have your credit history, which tells about all the open accounts that you have, uh,
So
all your lines of credit. Yeah,
so the banks and
like say you have a Visa card, you have a credit card, you have a mortgage or whatever. All of that's going to show underneath this credit history. You want to check that, make sure that it's all correct. Okay. Then you have your public records, which shows your foreclosures, bankruptcy. Ooh, you don't even want to deal with those. Those are difficult to have removed. It takes like 7 to 10 years to actually get those removed. Most of the time, people get stuck just waiting for those to fall off.
I always thought it's like credit death whenever you hear about bankruptcy.
It is. I always tell people, don't try not to file for bankruptcy or a Chapter 7. Okay, and then we have inquiries that are on your credit report, which is like, say for instance, you wanted to try to get you a brand new car, so you apply for financing. Okay, so they're going to run your credit. Okay, and when they run your credit, you give them authorization to run your credit. It's going to leave it that leaves an inquiry on your credit report, which you have soft inquiries and hard inquiries.
So Nate, she just recently got a house, right, Nate?
Yep.
So that's considered a what kind of inquiry?
A hard one.
A hard inquiry. Every time they run your credit, that's a hard inquiry. But here's the thing. If they run your credit, as long as they stay within that 30 days, it only counts one time. Now, if you go in February and then you turn around and go on the same date in March, that's another hard inquiry on your credit, because that's another 30 days. If you want to do a car, your house, a loan, whatever, but you do it within that month, it only counts one time. And then even sometimes soft pulls can hurt your credit. They say it don't, but sometimes it does.
But not by many points. Not by many points. A hard inquiry can hurt you like 50 points.
Yeah.
And it can stay on your credit report for 2 years and then drop off. Soft inquiry only takes a couple of points.
So
Okay.
what you're saying, what Nate was saying, is go ahead and get all of your.
If you're trying to get a house, if you're trying to get a mortgage loan or whatever, and you need to apply to many mortgage companies as you can,
all during that month.
all during
All
that
doing
month.
that 1 month.
because what they do, they lump it all together and count it as one inquiry instead of 10 or 15.
Same thing with cars when you're shopping around for a car.
Same
Same
thing.
thing.
Okay.
And we were
Now,
talking about the experience and stuff like that, how to find your credit. I am with experience and I do pay. Some people don't like to pay, but I do pay $11 a month and I get all of my credit reports. I get everything that's on my credit from Experience, Equifax, and TransUnion from Experience. And I do that Experience Boost as well. When you
I was
put
gonna say
your
that.
yeah, we're going to talk about that.
yeah, okay, when you put your bills together, that boosts your credit too.
I cannot understand what she's saying. She sounds like a slow down robot.
I don't know why, because we can hear her clearly.
And you,
Okay.
we hear you good too.
And
And,
I know
we
I
hear
can hear
you too.
y'all. I hear y'all
Okay.
clearly, but not her.
I sound like
All
a
right. Throw up sign language's name. Anyway, so now we want to talk about the percentages of each one of these sections on your credit report.
Okay, so this is what makes up your
So
your credit score?
Yes, this is what makes up your credit score. You have your on time payment or credit history,
That's
which
a
is
big chunk.
35%, which is a big chunk of your credit score.
shit.
Okay, y'all. So make sure that you make your payments on time. If you're late, call the people and tell them, hey, can we make some kind of arrangements?
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to get more into that in a minute. Now, then we have credit utilization, which is 30% of your credit score. Credit utilization, that means how much credit are you using to make it throughout the month or just to live on? How much are you maxing out your credit cards? How much credit are you using? What percentage of your credit are you using?
That overall.
That's overall.
So if I have 5 credit cards or whatever is on my credit, then it's over this percentage over all 5.
Say you have 5 credit cards, right? And all of them are $100 a piece, just to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's $500 of credit. You have a credit line of $500, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't want to use all of that. Okay.
That looks bad.
It looks bad. It makes the lenders believe that you have to live off your credit cards to make it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to think that you have to survive by using your credit or live off your credit cards. Okay, so you want to keep your utilization under. I say a lot of people say 35%, below 35%, but I say 25%.
Have you heard of that, Francis?
Yep.
I always thought it was, look, I thought you could use as much as you wanted to on your credit. I didn't think that had anything to do, like as long as you paid it off, I always thought that you could use to the max if you wanted to. I didn't think
You
that
do
it
not-
would hurt you
you
to
do not
use that
want
much
to-
of your
If
credit.
you if you use it regularly, like all the time, each month you're steady maxing it out, and now even though you go back and pay it on time, like you say, it still shows them. To them, it's saying each month this is how you survive. Like
And
you
you're
can't,
irresponsible.
like you can't survive without your credit cards. So like if people and there's nothing wrong with getting a credit card. You just have to be real responsible and make sure that whatever you use, you pay that back. Not the minimum. Go ahead and pay the whole, pay everything that whatever you use, pay it back.
And
And like you said, on
that's another
time.
thing. That's another thing that people don't understand. They think just because I have that due date of, when you get your credit card statement, there's a due date on there that says your credit card bill is due, say, January 1st.
Right.
Just an example. And you say, well, I'm just going to make that payment January the 1st.
Right.
So you're thinking, okay, I'm not going to get any interest on this because I paid it on time. I'm going to get the max amount of points.
That's what I
going
believe.
toward my credit score because I'm on time every month. But you have to think about it. You don't know. They give you the due date of when it's due, but they don't tell you when they send that report in of how much you spent for the month.
Meaning when it's processed.
When it's
actually-
processed. So,
Okay.
say for instance, the billing cycle ended on December 28th. Okay, so they reported how much you spent December 28th.
So it
Okay.
would look like it's late. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
it's not. It's not going to look like it's late. It just shows that it shows how much you spent.
Okay.
Say you spent, you got $100 credit card, say you maxed it out, you spent $100, but in your mind, you're saying, I'm going to pay it off on that due date, right? That due date of January the 1st. But they reported how much you spent on that on that credit card on December 28th. So they actually see how much you're spending. You see what I'm saying?
So that comes into the utilization part.
That comes into the utilization part. So still, it shows you're spending a lot on that credit card.
Got it.
I can
Well, Nay, that works for you since you pay everything 5 months in advance.
Well, always pay. I'll say always pay your credit card in advance. Don't pay it on the due date. Pay it 2 weeks before the due date. It looks good.
I can
Not only
speak.
that, it gives them time to process the payment anyway.
I can speak from experience on that because I had a Big Lot credit card and it had a $1,500 credit limit on it. So I got some furniture. So I was 5 months into paying it. And of course, yes, I paid it on time. I paid it early. But to the lenders, when I was trying to get my home, it looked like that I owe out more than I brought in. And in reality, that was true. Just because they approved me for the loan or the credit, the furniture cost more than the amount that I was bringing in. So it looked like I was dragging on paying it off. So I had to turn around and hustle up the money to pay that credit card completely off so that I could get this home that I'm sitting in today, because to the lender, it was like I was living above my means. So what Judy just said is absolutely true. And I still have that credit card, but I haven't walked back in the Big Lots yet.
Or just say no. Okay, so we talked about paying your payments on time.
Make sure
Big
you
old
pay.
chunk.
Yeah, make sure you pay your payments on time. That was payment history.
Okay.
And then we got into credit utilization, meaning
Also huge.
keep it down. Don't max out your credit cards.
Got it. All right.
And I always tell everybody, only spend 10% on each credit card. 10%.
boy.
All right, if you have to, 20%, but don't go above that 20% on each credit card. Okay, so
Shoot, what you mean?
I'm just saying, don't overspend on with that credit card. It looks bad, and also, it brings your credit score down.
Evidently, I didn't know
Okay,
it was such a big
now length of credit history. A lot of people, and this is what you were just talking about. A lot of people, they go and they pay off all their loans. I got all these loans. I want to pay them off because it's going to look good. It's going to raise my credit score. It actually drops your credit score.
To pay it?
Yes, to pay it off. If you only have say you open up a new credit, a line of credit, and you only had that account open for 4 months. And then you say, I'm going to pay it off because I got my income tax money. I'm going to pay it off. I don't want to be bothered with it no more. Being responsible. No, it'll drop it. You want to try to have you want to stretch it out. Keep those accounts open. You know what I'm saying? Even the same with your credit card. Keep those credit cards open, those accounts open. Because you get points for the length of
the time that you have this credit.
That's right.
And that's something. So don't go rushing.
Don't just go rush and pay it off, or you'll see a huge drop in your credit score.
Nay, that's all you do. I keep calling your name, but you know how
Nay,
you are.
Nay is she's bad at that.
I'm the total opposite. I pay all my bills on time, and I'm sitting here smiling because she keeps saying, "Don't pay it off." Y'all, I ain't even got my check, and I done paid 3 bills already. It's just been
You want to build the length of your credit history. You don't want to just shut it down. You want to show everybody that you can be responsible. You can be responsible with credit.
That's absolutely true.
Okay. So stretch it out, then.
Stretch it out. If you got to buy a pack of gum on that credit card, don't close that credit card account. Just every month, go buy a pack of gum, Wrigley's or whatever. Try it. Shit, just keep it open. Yeah.
She's saying it, but it's absolutely true. I just haven't went back into Big Lots because you want a revolving credit. You want it to revolve. And they say have 5 good credit accounts open. I think 5 is excessive if you don't have the income, but they say at least have 5.
Well, like
believe
you said,
it or not,
a pack of gum on all 5.
Believe it or not, Credit Karma wants you to have 21 open lines of credit.
Or more.
Oh, I don't make that much money. I don't make that much.
Well, you don't have to have that much money. You open up those accounts, like I said. Open up those accounts and just spend $1 on each one every month. Go buy that pack of gum. Go buy that shake. Go buy that Big Mac. Whatever.
I
Just
mean, but
something
seriously,
small.
is it something that simple as literally just making sure you keep it open, keep your balances, or keep those
Yes.
payments that you have on
Yes.
time? Something as simple as that, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on it.
No, you don't have to spend a
No.
lot of money on it. Nope.
Because I had a
Nope.
misconception that you had if you have a credit card, right? Say for instance, a gas card of $100 that you had to spend over like half of it and then pay it back. That's what I thought. Like if it's $100, you need to spend like over half of it, and then make sure you pay that big, like the more you the bigger your amount that you show you paid back meant something more.
Well, that's a good thing that you brought up. It can mean something. What it does, if you do start spending, say you start spending over half the amount and paying it back on your due date, right? What it shows the company is that, oh, she's spending a lot of money now. We need to give her an increase.
So it works.
So
like that.
so it'll work out for you in that regards. They'll increase the amount on your credit card.
Got it.
But it's easy, instead of doing that and taking that risk of dropping your credit score by spending too much and raising up your credit utilization. What I would do, I would just call the company and request increase in a credit limit.
I didn't think
You know,
could do
request
that.
if they only gave you 500 on that credit card. Call them back and say, hey, I was just trying to see if I'm eligible for increase in credit.
Have any of y'all ever did that?
I have with that.
I have too.
credit card,
I've done it. I've done it with Capital One.
and I got
Yeah.
my increase. I got my increase.
See, I ain't never called and asked for one, but I messed around. I was always like paying my I had Capital One, was paying them, before my due date, and one day I looked on the app, you know what I'm saying, trying to see, okay, my next payment or whatever, and realized that shoot, I done got a credit increase, and I was like,
So
huh?
that they automatically did it.
Well, if you
Yeah,
start
it's
making your payments
if
on
you
time, most of the time
yeah.
they will.
It's I think it was you had to make I think it was like 6 on time payments or maybe
Oh,
5
I've
on
heard of
time
that.
payments,
Yep, I've heard of that. Right.
and then it goes up. Well, I didn't ever pay attention to it, and I just happened to go in and look, and sure enough, it was there. I was like, what the
That's
what?
nice.
And I was like,
Okay,
okay.
so there's a bonus then. Okay, so go ahead and don't be afraid to ask for that payment increase. Nice,
Okay, baby,
nice.
look, though,
Let's get back onto the.
I didn't wait on mine. I called them. But I done paid y'all 6 months straight. Can I get some more money, please? They gave it to me. They
We
did.
talked about late payments. Yeah, we talked a little bit about late payments, but late payments, we want to tell the people that after, when your payment is 30 days late, that's when it's reported to these credit bureaus. Okay?
Oh, okay. So you were talking about up here when we said pay your
Yeah,
payments on time.
make your
that big
payments on
chunk.
time. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's 35% of your credit score, making on time payments.
Right.
Okay, so I was telling people, if you wait and you keep saying, well, I'm going to pay it later or I'm going to reach out to them later, after 30 days, they didn't report it to all the credit bureaus.
Oh,
So
30
it's
days,
best-
I thought you had longer.
No, about 30 days. After 30 days, it's considered late.
So
Okay?
where does that those
Unless
numbers?
you make an agreement with the lenders. Now, if you call them and tell them, okay, because of COVID, I can't make my payment, and they make an agreement with you, make modifications to your loan or whatever, and you sign that paper, then they cannot report your payment as late. So right now during this pandemic, y'all, if y'all can't make your payments or you're having a hard time, call your lenders and ask them, what kind of assistance are y'all offering?
I was gonna
Can y'all
ask
make a
that.
modification to my loan? And during that period of modification, they cannot report any payments late. They cannot report that you didn't make a full payment to the credit bureau.
So with that being said, do you have to get some kind of proof from them showing that you've made?
Well, you're gonna
this
sign.
agreement
You're
or
gonna sign
something?
documentation anyway.
Okay,
Because y'all
just
doing the
asking.
modification, so it's like a contract that you're signing that
Okay.
hey, we're gonna renew this loan or whatever. So
Now that is helpful. So during
Very
COVID,
helpful.
if you got some kind of credit card debt or whatever it is that you're supposed to
reach
be
out
doing,
to reach
loans,
out to your lenders because they're not gonna call you. They're not gonna call you and say, hey, we can help you with this. The CARES Act says that
Nah.
we can help you with this type of assistance. No, you call them and ask them, what do y'all have to offer to help me during this time?
Nice. Okay.
You got a question down in the comments, Judy.
Okay.
What is your?
What is you all's opinion on secured credit cards? Okay, we're gonna get to
I had a
that.
question.
Secured credit cards. Y'all want to talk about that now?
I have two.
I think it's good. I think you should get secured credit cards. I think a good way. What I did, I'll tell you what I did. When I was trying to build my credit, I went to 3 credit unions, and I went and I opened up an account. Huh?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I opened up an account with those credit unions.
Mm-hmm.
I put $200 in each one of those accounts that I opened up, right?
Okay.
And then I turned around and asked for them to give me a secured loan. So
On
yeah,
that money.
on
So
that
that's what I was
money.
going to ask you. So when you say secured, see, this is something that I learned late. But so when you say secured, this is money you put up front
That's
to
exactly
use toward
right.
an account.
Mm-hmm.
And this will help you, like you're saying, if you ask the banks to do this for you, because then if they report it,
You can do it with the banks. You can find secured credit cards,
Where you put your
whatever,
money
where
up
you
front.
put the money up front down on those credit cards. And the same thing applies when you're using these secured credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you don't go over 20% or 25%. And when you're spending on it,
oh, okay. So still
spend under 25% on each one of those secured credit cards.
Okay.
And make sure these are legitimate people who are reporting to all 3 credit bureaus. That's the reason why I dealt with the credit union. I went to the banks. I know for a fact that they're reporting. Exactly.
Nice. Okay.
Miss Kim, when you asked that question, I'm with my co-host on here. I have 2 credit cards, 2 secured credit cards. I don't have any major credit cards. I have Capital One secured credit cards, and they report to all 3 bureaus, and I pay them on time. So I do believe in secured credit cards. Would I like to have a major credit card? Yeah, but just not right now. I'm still learning how to manage my credit, so that secure credit card is good for me. And I ended up putting $200 down on one card and $100 on the other one.
I've always thought that when I hear secured credit cards that it was a bad thing to do. I didn't think that it was something that could help you.
No.
But now that I'm understanding what y'all are saying, secured credit cards are for, sounds to me like something that would be good to start young people
Well,
off
with young people, I say start them as early as 18. You know what I'm saying? They can get a Discover card, they can get those Apple cards and use them. Start building your kids' credit early.
Instead of in the negative way.
That's right.
Y'all know. Oh, shame on some of us parents.
What? No,
you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Some of the parents, because I never did that. But
I never did either, but I have. Yeah, I've heard.
To me, I had a water bill of $110, and when I asked the lady where was I at, I didn't remember the address, and then she told me this was in 1985. I said, "Ma'am, I wasn't born to 75, so in 85 I was 10. I ain't had no damn water bill."
Why?
And
I don't know why my mama did that, but she did. I never did it to my children. I didn't believe in it. I never did. I never used my kid's name for anything.
Look,
Okay, Miss Young said I thought it was bad too. Thank you.
Oh, she's talking about
no,
the
ma'am,
security
it's not
cards.
bad. Make sure you go to the banks. Put up, like I said, credit unions. Go put $200 in the account, and then turn around and ask them to open up a secured credit card for you.
See, that's
And
why
I got a
thought
credit
it was
union.
wrong, though, 'cause
I got a credit union.
good.
That's what Judy said.
That's what I'm saying. That's who I would do it with. I would do it with a credit union. I would find 3 credit unions and just go open up 3 accounts with each one of them. And then turn around and ask them to give you a secured line of credit.
Yep, I
Nice.
just keep minimum payments on that credit union card. I don't use it for my bills or anything like that. I just have it open to help my credit. Basically, I keep very little in that account, but I keep it open
Okay.
to show good
Lord.
credit.
Now, y'all, to get us back on track here, we talked about inquiries. We talked about
So you talked about the length of history. So you didn't get to total credit lines, which count for 10%.
well, we pretty much discussed.
Well, we
that.
kind of did, I guess. And so
Well,
also,
explain it again. The total credit lines.
But you were talking about all the different lines of credit that you have, like through any major credit cards, loans, mortgages, any of that. So anywhere that someone's extended you a line of credit, it counts for 10% of your total credit score. So if you have a credit score of 650, 10% of that was the total lines of credit that you have open.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just still on this on-time payments cost having such a big impact. That and credit utilizations. Those two, man, if you can just maintain basically the top three, also length of credit history. So the next one will be your hard inquiries, which is 10%.
We talked about the inquiries.
We
too,
did, which I didn't think.
And then later on, we're gonna talk about how to get hard inquiries off of your credit report. There's a trick to it, how to do it, but we're gonna backtrack because we need to talk about when you find these anomalies on your credit report or odd looking stuff on your credit report or stuff that you don't recognize. You need to dispute it. Disputes, collections, all of that. We need to talk about that. Okay. So if you see this stuff, you can dispute it on each one of these bureaus: Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. You can dispute it. If they misspelled your name wrong, dispute it. If you see something on that account that you say, hell, I didn't do that, I didn't open that up, dispute it. Me, I ain't gonna lie, I dispute every damn thing. Even
Right
if
or
I
wrong.
did it, I'm disputing it. I dispute it. I don't remember it. I don't recall.
Dumb.
I'll
Okay,
give,
so
I'll give you
because-
an example of a dispute. I've never lived in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Someone had a whole house and water, light, gas in my name in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
girl.
I contacted the landlord and the credit bureau all at the same time within the same week. And they got that stuff off my credit within, 15 days. They said anywhere from 30 to 45 days.
Now,
But
that's
they
nice.
sent me a letter from each credit bureau, all three of them, showing that had been removed from my credit. I've been to Jonesboro, Arkansas. I visited, but I've never lived there, and I don't know anyone there for me to have a home with bills in my name.
Wow. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
that it was, you were able to dispute it and get it
And
off.
that's quick. 15
I was
days
about
that
to
they
say
removed
that.
it. That's I mean, that was a great job.
Okay.
You
Fra-
look.
Francis, you done disputes and stuff too?
I have. Yeah,
Do they-
I have. And when I had mine done, it was I actually was paying somebody to do it at one time,
Mm.
an actual agency,
Mm-hmm.
and the only thing is that which they did a doggone good job of it. You know what I'm saying? And it did
Mm-hmm.
boost my credit score, a lot. But say for instance, if I wanted to boost it in even more at that time, I couldn't go get a credit card. You know what I'm saying? It was like, do not file for no credit cards, because the one thing is, if you file for a credit card, and if you get denied for it, it knocks your score down. You know what I'm saying? Now, and what people also don't realize is, if you say, those little deals they send you in the mail saying you pre-approved for credit cards,
Boy, I done been a
a
sucker
lot
for
of
them. I don't know how many
and
times.
yeah, and the thing of it is, and what people fail to realize is, they're actually saying that you're approved. You actually get it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to know, like Judy was saying earlier, you have to know how to utilize it. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I done disputed some things, and there was some things on there that I had no clue to what it was. I was like, huh?
Look,
No.
so on my credit report, my name has 2 A's on the end. I can
Disputed. That's
dispute
not
just
you.
that one little thing.
Disputed
Yeah.
because they misspelled your
Hmm.
name.
Yeah.
And during this pandemic, I say keep shooting those disputes because
Everybody's backed up.
everybody's backed up, everybody's busy. Most of the time the company, they're gonna overlook it. They're not gonna meet that deadline of 30 days. So you might get it wiped off your credit report.
Not only
Okay.
that, Judy, another thing you say during this pandemic, that another thing to keep in mind too. Yeah, it's good to dispute it, because you also got people out here doing fraudulent things, and they lying and
Okay.
got a hold to your, you know what I'm saying, any of your personal information. That's why they also say, if y'all have any mail that you don't need, even if it's junk mail, tear it up, pour bleach on it, whatever you got to do, or shred it.
Did you say the
She
bleach
said
though?
throw some
Yeah,
bleach on it.
Francis, that's
yeah.
country.
It don't matter. It works.
It works.
It don't matter. It works.
Y'all throw bleach on it.
It
Please
works.
hold it, y'all.
It works. Hey, tear it up. Tear it up as small as you can. Get some bleach. Pour that bleach on it. It wipes all that away. You ain't got to worry about nobody going through your mail.
Girl.
You actually do have people who got too much time on their hand that actually will go through your trash
And
Go
piece it
through
back
and get your
together.
mail.
And then
You
your
know what I'm
identity,
saying?
a victim of
Yeah.
identity fraud or theft.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, y'all. So we said dispute anything that's inaccurate on your credit report, right?
bleach on it.
Through these three bureaus, dispute them. Okay.
Can you go on there when you're doing those and just go? They have
Yes,
something
that's the
on
reason
each
why
one
in the
of those
beginning of
sites.
this show I said set up an account with each one of these. Set them up. Set up an account so you can monitor your credit.
Got it.
And you can also do disputes online.
On each
Or if
one
you
of those.
can't do it online, they have numbers on these websites here that we got up that you can call and they'll do the dispute for you.
Got it.
Now, say for instance you don't win a dispute on everything, right? And they're not going to remove some stuff. That's when you want to call these companies and start negotiating. Say for instance, you couldn't pay off a credit card debt, right? And it went into collections. That company that you had the credit card with, Bank of America, you had a credit card with them. You couldn't pay it off. You fell behind. They sold that debt to a collection agency.
Right.
Right? So y'all got to remember, say your debt was $600, and they sold that debt to a collection agency probably for like $300. Okay? So when you call that collection agency, you tell them, okay, I owe this debt, but don't just own up to that debt all at once unless you're ready to handle that debt and pay it off. Okay, don't just say yes, it's mine. Don't
It's
even call them if
mine.
you're not ready to pay some money.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you do claim that debt, it just resets the 7 years. You know, you have 7 years before it comes off of your
Okay.
credit
Got
report,
it.
right?
Right.
Now, if you go and call these companies and say, yes, that's my debt, it's going to reset that time limit. So you'll start all over having to wait another 7 years. So don't call them unless you're ready to talk some business with them.
Got it.
So say you call them, and what I would do, I would negotiate a lower price. Say you owe $600, negotiate it down, because you know in your head that they didn't pay the $600 for that debt. They only paid $300 probably for that $600 debt. So tell them, hey, I can pay half of it, but the only way that I'm going to pay half of it is if you give me a letter of delete.
Say it
yeah.
again.
Okay, a letter of delete.
Okay.
So you tell them, I can pay half of this. I can pay half of it, but I can't pay the whole debt off. You know, will you be willing to work with me? I can pay half of it, but the only way I'm gonna do it is if you give me a letter of delete.
Make sure you
Now,
get
and
that.
make sure that this phone call is being recorded, which most phone calls, when you're dealing with these
Call centers and stuff like
agencies
that.
or
Right.
companies, they're recorded, and they'll tell you this phone call is being recorded. If not, you record the conversation and tell them. Make sure you tell them, I'm recording you right now. You know, you are being recorded. Da 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 da. It's such and such time and date. Then you go ahead and discuss business. So that way you have, record showing that they
Yeah.
said that they were going to delete this off your credit report,
And they got to honor it.
and they have to honor it.
I
So-
also got it through email, Judy. When I paid one off, which was AT&T, I asked them if I paid my debt off, could they give it to me, send me a letter in the email, and mail me a piece of paper? And I got both. I'm not saying all of them do that, but my old house, AT&T sent me an email showing that I paid it off. Your letter of delete. That's why I said say it again.
Yes, it's important. It's important to have a letter of delete, not just a letter saying that, hey, you paid it off, because they're not promising to delete it off your credit.
Which is the whole reason why you contacted them in
Yes.
the first place. So you're saying don't call the lender, not the person, not Bank of America,
You
not,
don't call
not
Bank of
AT&T,
America.
but call the
You
credit
call
co-
the collection
company.
agency.
Got it.
Whoever's handling that debt at that time, whoever bought it from Bank of America, which was our example, you call them.
Got it.
And you don't offer, if they say, well, you owe here $600. You don't say, well, I'm going to pay the $600 because I got it. No, you make them sweat. You tell them, hey, I'm just sitting around. I just had a little extra money. I just decided to pay off some of my debt because I'm trying to repair my credit. Now, I was just calling you to see if you'd be willing to work with me. If you're not willing to work with me, I can go on and move on to the next person that I owe. And more than likely, they're going to want to work with you.
Okay. So this is a bit.
and you don't, like I said, don't tell them I'm gonna pay the $600. Cut that mess in half.
Now, see, something I didn't know is that these creditors have bought the account for so much less, but they're still, of course, when they call you, they're still trying to collect all of what you owe. They don't let you know that.
No.
But yeah, okay, that's cool. That's a good way to try to help boost your score. All right.
Okay. So where else are we?
So we talked about disputes, collections, the denial of credit. I believe Francis was talking about denial of credit hurting your score, so be careful with that. Credit piggybacking, you talked about COVID-19.
Oh, well, credit card piggybacking. That's where, say for instance, your grandma or somebody in your family, they have outstanding credit. They have a good credit card. They have a credit limit on that credit card of $50,000. I'm gonna say $50,000 on that card.
$800.
You want to become an authorized user on that card. Now that doesn't mean that they co-signing for you. It's nothing like a co-signer or nothing like that. You just want to jump on that account as an authorized user. Tell them to put you on there like that. So that way, while they're building their credit, it also builds your credit.
So jump on board with somebody with
tell
good
them,
credit.
yeah, that's right. Tell them to put you on as an authorized user. Not saying that they have to let you use that card now. They're going to have that card tucked away up here. You ain't going to use that card. Okay, yeah. So don't think you're going to get some of that $50,000.
Yep, definitely make sure they're paying on their credit and they got good credit. And I say it again because I've done that as well for my significant other. He had no credit, and so he jumped on my bandwagon of credit. And within 30 to 45 days, he had a credit score of 710. In 45 days, he had a 17.
Dang.
But I worked the whole year.
And went from nothing.
Yeah. So what Judy is telling you all is actual facts. Every time she hit on something, I have to agree with it because I have did it.
Nice. So this is a good way.
And another thing that I wanted to address is that I heard Francis say that, when you try to apply for new credit, new lines of credit, it can bring your credit score down. Mm-hmm. When you do apply for new credit, it's going to instantly drop that credit score. So when you look at it, you're like, oh, dang, I went from 700 to 650.
But they tell me to apply for more credit, but that didn't hurt me.
Well, it can help, though. But I'm saying once you open up that line of credit, say you get approved. Once you get approved, and then once you start making those on-time monthly payments, then that's when your credit score will start going up. You'll start seeing it going up after 3 months or so.
So you're saying,
and this is for the people who have time to sit back and wait for their credit score to increase. Now, if you're trying to boost your credit score up real quick because you're trying to get a house, you want to get in the house real quick, don't open up any new lines of credit. Don't do it. Matter of fact, start looking for stuff to try to pay down.
Okay.
But if you have time and you say, okay, in 2 years, my goal is in 2 years, I want to get a credit score of 700. Start opening up a whole bunch of credit lines. A lot of people say that opening up a lot of credit lines or getting a lot of credit cards will hurt you. No, it doesn't hurt you. It actually helps because now the percentage of your credit utilization is higher now. The way I can explain it is say you only got $500 in credit, right? A credit line of $500. Say you go out, you spend $250 of that, right?
Okay.
So that means that your credit utilization for that month is high.
Which looks bad. Which brings it down because you only have a small amount to work with, 500.
But if you open up a whole bunch of lines of credit and say you got your credit limit up to $50,000, okay? That means if you go spend that $500, it didn't really impact you that much because that credit utilization is lower.
Gotcha. And since it counts for so much of your credit score anyway, what was that? Utilization is 30%?
30%.
Yeah, okay. So for this person that was saying they're trying to get they're at a 670 and I'm trying to get it up to 750. That would be something to keep in mind, credit utilization, how much you're utilizing of your credit at one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the main thing when you want to get your credit up is like Cynthia said too. About that Experian, when you go on Experian and you can use your different accounts like electric bill,
Experian Boost.
Experian Boost. That's a good way to get some points.
They give you points or
Definitely
credit.
believe that experience boost. So as soon as I put my electric bill, my cable bill, my everything,
Your
all
phone
my
bill.
utilities on that bill, my
Yes.
credit score jumped up 40 points. No lie. Because you
So
pay
they,
those bills on
yeah.
time every month.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yep, that's right. So they're rewarding you for doing something that you do or that you have to do usually anyway on every month. That's good. That's good.
Okay, he says his credit utilization is around 30%. I would say get it down. You know, a lot of people say keep it below 35%. I always say keep it below 25. Keep it below 25%, so that way you can get the max amount of points to build your credit score up higher. You know, when you keep it at around about 30%, you only get like probably like 180 points. That's a lot to explain right there if I go into that.
But
I'm just saying
generally
you
speaking.
get a certain amount of points for credit utilization, like 250 points towards your credit score. And so if you keep your utilization percentage at 35% or 30%, you're only going to get 100, maybe like 170 points of that 250 points that you can get.
Oh, okay.
So keep your utilization lower.
The lower you keep
The
it,
lower you keep it, the more
most amount of
you can
points
get the max amount of points for that.
Got it. Got it. I tell you what, these have been some pretty helpful tools, and I think one of the things we talked about earlier is really important. Start with your children young, because I remember when I was just barely like, I don't know, 16, 17. I don't know, maybe I was 18. I can't remember, but I don't know if y'all remember going in the mall back, where they would just hit you up with like at jewelry stores or whatever, and they're always trying to entice you to get credit cards. I remember I got like 3 of them in one summer and was just spinning up, and didn't really know the impact that it could have. So I started my credit. I was doing it in the wrong direction from young. So these points that you're pointing out.
That's
I do
one where you
agree.
can get a line of credit with that will help you. I think it's called myjewellersaccount.com. Put that down in the comment. It's called myjewellersaccount.com. And what you do, you go onto that website and you open up an account with them, and they'll give you a line of credit of I believe $5,000. And all you need to do is go onto that site, buy a piece of jewelry for like $100. Okay, and when you buy that piece of jewelry for $100, pay $50 down on it, and leave a balance of $50. You
Wow.
can start building your credit up. But that's a good way to open up a good line of credit of $50,000. I mean, not 50,000. I'd be stuck on that 50,000. I
She
need
wanna
50,000.
claim it.
I'm telling you.
Somebody
But
get this girl $50,000.
$5,000 of line, 5,000 line of credit. I can't even get it out.
But I understand what you mean.
So if you go onto that website,
I'll
myjewellersaccount.com,
type it into
you can go there, open up an account, and they'll give you a line of credit of $5,000. There we go. Woo, a lot of information.
I'm telling you.
Okay, now about these inquiries. Let's talk about how to get hard inquiries off of your credit report.
So how do you get them off?
How do you get them off? Okay, to remove hard inquiries, what you're gonna do? Of course, you're gonna dispute stuff on your account through the credit
These are
bureaus.
the hard inquiries
Yes.
by like
You're gonna dispute
cars
those
and
inquiries.
houses and stuff like that.
But before you dispute them, the first step that you need to do, you might need to write this down. Or do we have it written down? To go to these different sites?
Other than just the credit bureaus, but no.
Don't. Okay. Well, let's talk about Innovis, Sage. What are the 3 ones?
I can't remember, but basically these are ways to try to do what exactly?
You're gonna
your
get
hard
how
inquiries
to
off.
get hard inquiries off
So
your.
you just
your
don't simply go
account.
and write a letter to
Okay.
somebody saying get it off.
Well, before you do that, you want to go. These are agencies that do reportings. They're like credit bureaus also. They're called LexisNexis. You want to write that in there? LexisNexis. There's another one called Sage Stream. I'm gonna give her a few minutes to put that in there.
You can go
or a
ahead
few
and talk about
seconds.
it.
Anyway, you want to go to.
I want to touch on this while you tell her what to write in.
Okay.
Judy had a good point when she said start with your kids at a young age, at 17, 18, 19 years old. But in the meanwhile, while you're starting them and talking to them about how to keep their credit good, make sure you monitor it, because just because they're that age don't mean that they can monitor it. My kids are in their mid-20s, and my daughter was just going to credit place, And now she's, 26 years old and trying to get the stuff off her credit. But that's because I didn't talk to her about credit. I'm not knocking her down. But if you're going to open a line of credit with your children or show them how to do it in a positive way. And once you give them the bit of information that you're trying to give them and they don't keep up with it, then that's on them. But you can't expect them to know how to keep good credit and keep account of what they're spending if you don't teach it to them. Because I was never taught about my credit. I mean, my parents used my name as a child, but in my household, we were never taught about guard your credit like you guard your Social Security number. We were never taught that.
Okay, Nay. Now, like I was saying, if you wanna remove hard inquiries from your credit report, what you do is you go to these reporting sites, LexisNexis, Sage Stream, and Innovis. Did you put Innovis down there?
Spell it for me.
INNOVIS. And what you want to do, you want to go onto these sites and you want to freeze your accounts. Put a freeze on these accounts, okay? And then you want to go to the Fair Credit Act website, and you're going to go to the section under 604. I probably should have wrote this out. I feel bad.
I think we're going to put a post about
this.
Yeah,
we'll have to put a
because
post up because it's a little bit complicated.
But there's a way to get the hard inquiries off in a fast.
Well, anyway, you go to the Fair Credit Act and you go underneath the section 604. Print out that letter so you can dispute these hard inquiries through the credit bureau. So you send that 604 letter to the credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, all of them, Equifax. Print off that 604. I'm just repeating it. Fill it out. Dispute the inquiries, the hard inquiries on your account. Send it in to these credit bureaus, okay? Now, remember, you didn't already froze all of your accounts on that Innovis, that Sage Stream, and that LexisNexis. You didn't froze it. So whenever the credit bureaus try to get information or trying to get data from these to validate these inquiries from Nexus, Sage Stream, and Innovis, they won't be able to get any information because these accounts are frozen.
Got it.
Are y'all following me?
I got it.
I know it's sort of confusing.
Basically, you're saying that whenever
Freeze
you do
those
a dispute,
accounts. Yeah.
the credit bureaus are going to go back and check to validate whether or not they're legitimately yours.
That's
so
exactly
a way to
right.
try to get around that is to freeze that first before they go and check to validate. So therefore, when they go to validate, they won't see anything.
They won't get any information.
Then they have
It'll
to go
say
ahead and
Nexus, Lexis, Sage Stream, and Innovis all will report back to where they say, we didn't find anything.
Got it.
So since they didn't find anything, the credit bureau has to say, okay, well, we have to delete these inquiries because they didn't show up.
Gotcha.
Because they get their information from these reporting agencies
Gotcha.
to validate whatever is on your credit report.
If they don't have nothing to validate, they can't. They have to take it off, right?
Exactly.
Nice.
So that's the way to remove the hard inquiries. And we're gonna put that. I think you should write that out and put it down. The instructions on how to do it.
We'll put that
Because
on
I
the
know it
post
was sort
after
of
the show.
choppy and hard for me to explain that, y'all. But
yeah,
hopefully y'all got it. Hopefully Tanya cleared it up.
I don't know, but still, we'll go ahead and look. Guru over here done.
And
Trying to get some juicy
if
tidbits.
this was helpful to anyone, I would like for you all to like it, subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook. I started a watch group on my Facebook page. Share it to anybody you know need help trying to fix their credit, trying to do better for themselves. We ask you to share all our shows, but this one is a very important show. So if you know anybody that needs to help, this is a lot of helpful information. So share this information with whoever you know need help.
I agree. I think this was definitely information that I wish we could have had more
You
time
probably
for.
need about an hour and a half to do that. But can you at least tell the audience about the key points that we hit on?
With the credit.
Yeah.
As far as credit. So I think the first main thing is when you get your credit report, first find the places where you can go get your credit report. Annualcreditreport.com, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. What was the other one? And all of the credit bureaus right now you can, especially during the COVID time. They're giving allowances where you can go get it. Check your scores frequently on those places for free. That's the key point here, free.
Get an account with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion to monitor your credit.
Okay, so we got that, right? Once you got a copy of your report, now you're looking at your score. First thing on your score is to know the components of your score, what it's made up of. So what are the four? The four, or is it five?
It's 5. Your personal information, credit history, public records, credit,
Something or another. What was all you?
something,
I can't remember what it was, but y'all.
lines of credit.
And inquiries.
Yes, and inquiries.
Okay, so you know those 5 parts that you're looking at. Dispute all anything that's inaccurate. Go through it. Check. Start with your personal information. If your name, like I said, mine had an extra A on one of the little things for my name on it,
And that does make a difference.
So evidently, I
It's
can dispute
incorrect.
that. Get
It's
it
not
on.
her government name.
That's something crazy. I mean, I would have thought something like that. But anyway,
Payment history.
what did you say about that?
Make sure that you make all your payments on time.
Oh, credit utilization is a big chunk. Francis, Cynthia, shoot, I can't remember all of them.
I'm just laughing because Judy keeps saying pay your payments on time, and sometimes I pay too early. I'll break it.
always do.
Like I told you before, that's great if you pay early. That's really good. It looks good to the lenders. They'll say, "Oh, she always make her payments on time. She's good. We're gonna give her more money to spend."
I pay in 2. I break it down in 2 payments, so it looked like I've jumped ahead of my payment score, but I really haven't. I pay at the end of the month, and then when I get my income, I pay at the beginning of the month. And what I mean is, I might pay on the 16th, 17th, 18th, and then when I get my money at the first of the month, then I turn around and pay on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th. So it looks like to them that I'm making a double payment, when in reality, I'm just keeping up with that one payment.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
good. And then also, it's never too soon to start your kids and building their credit. You know, you can get them some little cards. I think there's another credit card called a Self Visa
Yeah.
that is good.
Oh, they got
That's
another
a
one, y'all.
secured
Think
card.
Something talking about Green Dot or something, right? Have y'all seen the
Green,
commercials?
I've seen it, green.com. Yep, I've
Talking
seen
about
that.
for your college students and stuff like that now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you want to
Now,
make sure they
I'm
start
not
building
gonna
their
lie.
credit early.
I didn't do any of that for my kids. I ain't get
I
no
didn't
damn
either.
student loans. I ain't get no. I'm not putting your. No, I'm not gonna get a loan for you. Nope. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just saying that because I'm on a fixed income. But it is good to show them how to do it.
Yes, definitely. Educate them on how to do it.
And then another thing, if you're trying to build your credit real fast, you do not want to open up any new accounts. If you're trying to do it at a steady pace and in the long run, 2 years or so, open up more credit lines of credit.
I think that was a lot of information to cram in an hour. Boy, I tell
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
hopefully
yeah,
it helps
yeah.
somebody.
And what else, y'all? Anything else
We
y'all
were
like to
supposed to
say?
touch on some taxes, but I think maybe we'll have to do that another day.
Yeah, we was gonna get on taxes. I tried to get there.
About credit, which I think is good going into 2021. I think people needed to hear about this. Even if they don't see it tonight, they gonna see it.
I think it was good, period, for, but y'all,
And for a lot of people, I don't know if they ever heard of consolidating credit, where you take all your bills and consolidate it into one and make one payment.
I'm leery of that.
Yeah.
I don't, is that
I
good?
think that's helpful. I think it's good. So that way you can lower your payments, for the month.
But I always think
Save
about
some
the
money.
agencies and stuff that always say that they can help you do that. I feel like it's a scam. I've always
No,
thought
it's not a scam. You
Judy,
find
I'm gonna make
legitimate
you
companies who
laugh
can do
because
it.
you say don't pay them off too soon. I done paid my credit up so good. I got them calling, telling me, "Do you need a loan yet?"
See what I'm
That's
saying?
what's up.
Yes, yes,
You want
yes.
that?
That's good.
Dude, you want that?
All
Don't
right.
think it ain't tempting, especially getting through the holidays and being a first-time home buyer. I thought about it, but my home is more important than trying to pay off some credit that I done borrowed.
Yeah. Well, if you keep those loans open, though, I would say keep them open. Just get a lower amount. Don't go in because they offer you $1,000. Oh, I'm gonna take that 1,000. Girl, no, honey. Keep it low, okay? Keep it low.
Lord have mercy, Lord.
You don't want to send yourself into debt. So, anyway, y'all, hopefully we helped y'all understand some of this credit. I know it can be confusing. I know.
Completely overwhelming.
Man. And again, for the how to remove those hard inquiries, we're going to
Post a link or
we're gonna
post.
we're gonna post some information on our not on our website, on our Facebook page, so y'all can understand it thoroughly. Anyway, we enjoyed everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been Straight Talk. Oh, you got something to say, Nate? Go
Yeah.
ahead, Nate.
This has nothing to do with credit. It's February 1st. It's Black History Month, and I just want to let everybody know because Cicely Tyson just passed away a few days ago. Did everybody on here know that Cicely Tyson, in her younger years before acting, that woman was a model?
Oh yeah.
I found
Definitely.
a magazine where she posed in 3 different outfits. So she was a lady that was a genre of a lot of things. And it just suggest everybody go out and buy her book that she just wrote right before she passed.
We
And just
actually
read
did
about
that. I
We
cannot
went and
wait to
purchased
get
that
it.
book. We sure did.
Yeah, I'm
keep it in the
excited to
spirit
get
of
to
Black
that.
History Month. I just
Oh
want
yeah.
to say that.
I'm excited to get that book. I cannot wait to find out more about her life, how she fought for what she believed in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited, and I hope everybody look. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I'm
one.
excited
I
to read
am.
it too. That's gonna be a good read. I tell you that. Okay, Nadine Hines, I think Hires. She says consumer credit counseling is not a scam. You're absolutely right. It's not.
I have to find out and read a little bit more about that.
It's
one.
just that we as people we're always skeptical.
I know I am. I mean, especially when you're
It-
talking about something like your money and your credit, that's. Hey, people always trying to promise you something they can do, but they can't. Ready
All
to take
right,
your money.
y'all.
What is that?
Anybody else? Anything
go
else y'all would
ahead.
like to add?
No,
That's
not
my
really. Not right
auntie.
now.
Hey,
Hey,
Aunt
Auntie. Nice to meet
Goofy.
you, Auntie.
Right?
All right, y'all. It's been Straight Talk. We enjoyed everybody. Y'all have a good night, and we love you.
Good night.